Another thing Dr. Bright is not allowed to do at the Foundation. Dr. Bright, an original idea is not always a good idea. In this age of remakes and reboots, originality can be extremely valuable. However, just because an idea is original does not mean it is good. Dr. Bright is correct that no one has ever tried to test cosmetics on SCP-682 before, but that does not mean that putting lipstick and mascara on the hard-to-destroy reptile is a good plan. All Foundation personnel are now required to attend a seminar on the differences between an original idea and a good idea before being allowed to interact with Dr. Bright. Don't let him be a bad influence on you. Stop telling people you're a wizard. No matter what Dr. Bright might tell you, what kind of robes he wears, whether he has a pointy hat or a walking stick or even a talking bird on his shoulder, he is not a wizard. Speaking of birds, Dr. Bright, leave Dr. Spanko alone. He is not your familiar. Dr. Bright is not able to perform any spells, nor can he make potions aside from his world-famous sherbet punch. That he is permitted to make, but only for official Foundation holiday parties. Finally, stop standing in the doorways and declaring, "You shall not pass!" Sir Ian McKellen would not approve. Another thing Dr. Bright is not allowed to do at the Foundation. Dr. Bright is not, nor has he ever been, the, quote, undisputed SCP Intercontinental Champion. Dr. Bright has never won a competitive sporting event in his life, from racquetball to boxing. This is no exception. We're not entirely sure what would even constitute an SCP champion, but if there was one, it wouldn't be Dr. Bright. Oh, cheer up, buddy, don't cry. You can still have a trophy if you want, just for participation, though. Another thing Dr. Bright is not allowed to do at the Foundation. Dr. Bright does not have 10 tons of gold hidden somewhere at Site-19. No matter what Dr. Bright or the treasure maps he printed out using Foundation computers, there is no gold at Site-19. Do not let him send you on any noble quests, dangerous journeys, or treasure hunts while you should be working. And Dr. Bright, please stop pointing at various parts of Site-19 and saying, "There's gold in them hills." They aren't hills, you aren't an old-timey prospector, and there absolutely is no gold. Another thing Dr. Bright is not allowed to do at the Foundation. Dr. Bright SCP-963 is not to be given away as a good luck charm. No matter what stressful life events your colleagues have coming up, adult dance recitals, weddings, court hearings, you are not permitted to offer them SCP-963 for good luck. You of all people know that that thing is not good luck at all. Any and all attempts to convince someone else to wear the amulet will be treated as hostile acts. Stop it. And for those who feel the need for a little extra luck, ignore Dr. Bright. The magic was inside you all along. Another thing Dr. Bright is not allowed to do at the Foundation. Dr. Bright, stop making people panic about Ketters. Keter-class anomalies are the most difficult to contain and are often highly dangerous. From SCP-682 to SCP-353, most Ketters are not the sort of thing you'd want to come face to face with. So, a containment breach of a Keter-class anomaly is a reason to panic. For the same reason it's not okay to yell "fire" in a crowded theater, it's not acceptable to run down the halls of an SCP Foundation site while screaming, "The Keter is loose." So Dr. Bright, stop doing it. Unless it's a real emergency. Another thing Dr. Bright is not allowed to do at the Foundation. Dr. Bright, no taking advantage of Mr. Deeds. Mr. Deeds, the anomalous butler summoned by the ringing of SCP-662, is helpful to a fault, willing to attempt almost any task that the bell's holder assigns him. That does not, however, mean that Dr. Bright should take advantage of Mr. Deeds and get him to do any of the things on this list. If Dr. Bright is not allowed to do it, he is also prohibited from using Mr. Deeds as a middleman. Consider that loophole closed. Another thing Dr. Bright is not allowed to do at the Foundation. No playing chicken. Playing chicken is defined as a test of courage in which two parties engage in mutual challenges, waiting for the other person to back down first. Dr. Bright's version of chicken tends to involve climbing onto SCP-682's back, daring one of his colleagues to climb atop another dangerous SCP and ride them towards each other to, quote, "see what happens." This is strictly prohibited, and Dr. Bright is no longer allowed to play chicken with any department at the Foundation. Don't say yes if he asks you to play chicken. Don't even agree if he offers you some fried chicken. Who knows what he's up to? Another thing Dr. Bright is not allowed to do at the Foundation. Dr. Bright, no being weird and gross in the bathroom. Don't even start. We're not even going to go there. But recently, Dr. Bright has adopted a habit of eating his lunches in the bathroom, like the sad, lonely protagonist of a high school coming-of-age movie. You're not struggling to find a clique to fit with, you're an adult. Even though you're technically immortal, it's not a good idea to risk foodborne illness by bringing food into the bathroom. Stop it. It's weird and gross. Eat in the canteen or eat in your office. Another thing Dr. Bright is not allowed to do at the Foundation. Dr. Bright, no cringeworthy impressions. We get it. You like movies, everyone likes movies. But what people don't like is hearing you come up behind them while they're working and give them your best, "Why so serious?" in a Joker voice. This also goes for, "You want to know how I got these scars?" No Borat, Ace Ventura, or Kermit the Frog impressions either. In fact, just don't speak in any voices that resemble a character from popular media. Ever. Another thing Dr. Bright is not allowed to do at the Foundation. Dr. Bright, you cannot make Mythbusters. The hosts of the classic television show Mythbusters are experts in their field, and no, Dr. Bright, you can't, quote, do better than them. Dr. Bright is strictly prohibited from using any SCP to recreate experiments he saw while binge-watching old episodes of the show. Please don't put SCP-999 in a canon again. The poor thing was motion sick for the rest of the day, and it took ages to clean up the mess. Another thing Dr. Bright is not allowed to do at the Foundation. Dr. Bright, no more mocking SCP-008's victims. Just because they're zombies doesn't mean it's okay to bully them. Playing the Michael Jackson song Thriller in the presence of SCP-008 victims is strictly prohibited. It is also not acceptable to try and simulate video games using victims of 008. This includes, but is not limited to, letting them out of captivity and punching them in order to simulate Minecraft. Couldn't you just dig for precious minerals instead? And pushing agents in front of SCP-008 victims in order to simulate Resident Evil. Dr. Bright is no longer allowed within 50 feet of any victims of SCP-008. Another thing Dr. Bright is not allowed to do at the Foundation. Dr. Bright, you are not a pirate. Okay, first of all, who told Dr. Bright about Talk Like a Pirate Day? He doesn't need more reasons to dress up in a costume and bother everyone. Well, I guess that's one cat we can't put back in the bag, so new rule. Whether it's Talk Like a Pirate Day or not, Dr. Bright is not allowed to keel-haul anyone or force them to, quote, walk the plank. Where did he even get a plank? Even if he's wearing an eye patch, and even if he says, "Almighty," a lot. And by the way, Dr. Bright, yo-ho-ho and a bottle of rum is not appropriate for the workplace. Leave the bottle at home. And this is also why the rum is always gone. Thing Dr. Bright is not allowed to do at the Foundation. Dr. Bright, no anomalous shadow puppets. SCP-017 is a shadow person prone to engulfing and absorbing anything that casts a shadow on it. For this reason, Dr. Bright is strictly prohibited from making shadow puppets with the entity. Why would you even want to? Do you value your life at all? As annoying as he can be sometimes, we don't want Dr. Bright to disappear altogether, so we've put this particular rule in place to protect him from himself.